The sky over Earth had always been ordinary, a canvas of blues and grays that shifted with the sun. But today, as the sun began to set over the Pacific Ocean, something unusual appeared. A shadow moved across the atmosphere, larger than any cloud, darker than any storm. In a matter of minutes, news channels around the globe were broadcasting images that no one could have imagined. A fleet of enormous alien ships hovered in orbit, their metallic surfaces glinting against the sun's fading light. The alien ships were unlike anything humans had ever built. They were massive, stretching kilometers across, with smooth, curved surfaces that reflected Earth like a fragile jewel. Their presence was silent, yet undeniable. People stared upward in fear, awe, and disbelief. Governments immediately called emergency meetings. The United Nations headquarters in New York was filled with leaders, scientists, and military officials, all speaking at once, their voices a mixture of panic and urgency. News broadcasts repeated the same words. Unknown extraterrestrial fleet has entered Earth's orbit. No signs of hostile action yet. Authorities advise calm. But calm was impossible. The first broadcasts from civilians showed people stopping in the streets, pointing skyward and whispering prayers. Social media exploded with speculation. Who were these visitors? Why were they here? And why had no human effort, from telescopes to space probes, ever detected them before now? Then came the announcement. A voice, calm and resonant, spoke directly to humanity through every communication channel simultaneously. It was unlike any language humans knew, but somehow, thanks to advanced translation technology built into the alien ships, the words were instantly understandable. People of Earth, the voice said, we have arrived to protect you. You are at risk from forces beyond your understanding. You must allow us to guide your development and shield you from danger. Resist, and you endanger yourselves. The message caused mixed reactions. Some people felt relief. After all, who could argue with the promise of protection? But many others were suspicious. The idea that a powerful alien species would decide humanity's fate was unsettling. Could anyone truly understand what was best for humans? In one quiet city on the outskirts of London, Mara Lynn, a young engineer, watched the broadcast on her tablet. She was only 27, with a small apartment filled with electronic gadgets she had built herself. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the excitement of a problem she could not resist. They're impressive, Mara whispered, more to herself than anyone else. But they're predictable. Their energy patterns, their signals, there's something behind it, something we could study. Mara had been working with her team on satellite communications and energy transmissions. She had always believed that humans, even small ones like her, could solve problems bigger than themselves. And now, this was the biggest problem of all. Across the Atlantic in Washington, D.C., scientists in the Orbital Defense Program were scrambling. Military satellites, which had been monitoring near-Earth space for decades, were suddenly irrelevant. The alien fleet was invisible to radar and nearly impervious to conventional scanning. Attempts to signal the fleet were ignored or blocked by what appeared to be an invisible shield around the ships. Despite the fear, humans began observing carefully. A pattern emerged. The aliens were not attacking. They were controlling. Earth's weather systems began to stabilize unnaturally. Hurricanes that were forming over the Atlantic suddenly dissipated. Forest fires in California slowed in intensity as if invisible hands were damping the flames. In some parts of Asia, rainfall that had been missing for months appeared almost instantly, saving crops. Many humans began to believe the aliens were benevolent. Governments reluctantly followed their instructions. Military operations were suspended. Research stations in space were grounded. Space travel became heavily restricted. Yet not all humans were convinced. Scientists like Mara Lynn saw opportunities. They want control, not collaboration. Mara said firmly. "And anything that wants control has rules. Rules can be studied. Rules can be predicted." She gathered a small team of trusted colleagues, engineers, mathematicians, and programmers, into her hidden lab. Their goal was simple: observe, analyze, and understand the alien technology. Their equipment, though limited compared to the alien ships, allowed them to record energy signatures, monitor communication frequencies, and trace unusual patterns in satellite transmissions. Days passed. Humanity adjusted to the new normal. People went to work, children attended school, and life continued under the silent watch of the alien fleet. But Mara and her team noticed inconsistencies. Occasionally, the alien shields flickered, just for a fraction of a second. The energy fields around the ships pulsed in a rhythm that seemed almost mechanical. "This is it," Mara whispered one night. She traced the pulses on her screen, connecting the dots. "They're relying on a network, a shared system. If we understand it, maybe we can communicate, or even disrupt it." Meanwhile, across the globe, ordinary humans were feeling the effects of the aliens' presence. Farmers marveled at their healthy crops. Cities were cleaner, weather more predictable, and disasters less frequent. Some celebrated the alien protectors, seeing them as saviors. But others were uneasy. They sensed that the cost of safety might be control, and that freedom was slowly slipping away. The media began reporting minor incidents. Satellites mysteriously lost function, only to be repaired remotely by the alien ships. Communications between countries were sometimes blocked, with the aliens warning against sharing sensitive information. While no one was hurt, the restrictions hinted at the power the aliens held. One evening, in a quiet cafe in Tokyo, a group of students discussed the situation. "Do they even realize who they are dealing with?" one asked. "We've survived worse. Humanity is clever and stubborn and smart." The words hung in the air like a challenge. Mara's team felt the same determination. They were small and their resources limited, but they had something the aliens had underestimated: human creativity. Then came the first direct test. The aliens decided to inspect human cities, sending drones to hover silently above major urban centers. People panicked at first, hiding indoors and avoiding contact. But Mara's team saw opportunity. They recorded the drones' flight patterns and signals. They noted how the drones responded to electronic interference. "This is a chess game," Mara said, "and the pieces are moving predictably. They assume we are pawns, but pawns can reach the other side. Pawns can win." The tension grew as the aliens made a public demonstration of their control. A city in Brazil experienced an earthquake that the aliens prevented by stabilizing tectonic plates in real time. Crowds cheered from the streets, and world leaders praised the aliens as guardians. Humanity seemed powerless. Yet Mara's team quietly worked in hidden labs. They experimented with small-scale interference, sending signals to mimic the energy pulses of the alien shields. Nothing destructive, only tests to see how the ships reacted. Each attempt revealed new patterns, new weaknesses, and a faint but growing hope. For the first time, Mara allowed herself a small smile. "They don't see it coming," she said. "They think we are just humans. They think we are fragile. But humans, we adapt. We learn. We endure. And sometimes, that's enough to turn the tide." By the end of Part 1, humanity was caught in a strange balance. The alien fleet was vast, powerful, and seemingly unstoppable. Yet beneath the surface, human minds were already moving, thinking, and preparing. Fear had not destroyed them, it had sharpened them. And somewhere, deep in a lab filled with blinking lights and humming computers, Mara Lynn whispered to her team, her voice steady with resolve, "They may claim to protect us, but they don't even realize who they are threatening." The shadow of the alien fleet remained above, quiet and imposing. But for the first time, humans were not just watching. They were ready to act. The alien fleet continued to hover above Earth, a silent and powerful shadow that seemed impossible to challenge. Their presence was a constant reminder that humans were being watched, controlled, and studied. Cities were orderly, natural disasters minimized, and military activity restricted. Humanity seemed under control, yet the humans who refused to bow down to fear were quietly organizing. Mara Lin's team had grown. From a small lab of engineers and programmers, they now included mathematicians, pilots, and former intelligence officers. Each of them had been carefully recruited, their skills matching the challenge of understanding the alien fleet. Together, they had formed a network that stretched across several continents, connecting through encrypted channels that the aliens had yet to detect. "This is not about fighting yet," Mara explained one morning, her eyes scanning the data projected on a large screen in their hidden lab beneath the Swiss Alps. The lab had been built under a mountain, shielded from satellites and prying eyes. "It's about learning, watching, understanding. Every movement they make, every signal they emit, it can tell us how to act." Her team nodded, focused and alert. They had learned to interpret alien energy patterns, reading pulses that were invisible to normal instruments. They had also discovered a faint rhythm in the alien communication network, a subtle beat that repeated across their fleet. "Look here," said Javier, a young satellite engineer from Spain, pointing at a series of graphs. "These energy pulses, they're not random. They repeat every 42 seconds, and they slow down when the fleet changes position. If we can predict the pulses, we can predict the fleet." Mara smiled. "Exactly. They rely on their network too much. They think it's perfect. But humans, we can exploit perfection." The first step was observation. Teams in Japan, Canada, and South Africa were monitoring alien activity. Using modified satellites and high-altitude drones, they collected terabytes of data every day. Patterns began to emerge. The aliens had a networked intelligence. Their ships moved in precise formations, their shields activated in sync, and their drones responded instantly to any change. Yet there were small errors, tiny delays, moments of hesitation. "These are opportunities," Mara said. "Moments where their perfection fails, and in those moments, we can act." Meanwhile, ordinary humans were adapting as well. Farmers, scientists, and engineers across the globe began noticing strange phenomena. Rain came when it was needed, diseases slowed, and accidents were prevented. But the more humans observed, the more they realized the aliens were controlling not just the environment, but information, trade, and energy flow. "This is not protection," said Annika, a mathematician from India. "This is control, and control can be resisted." Mara's team worked in secret to test small-scale interference. They began with satellites, sending carefully timed pulses to mimic the alien signals. The goal was not to destroy anything, but to see how the aliens reacted. When the signals matched the rhythm of the alien network, small drones in orbit hesitated, paused, or moved incorrectly. Javier grinned. "We made them stumble." Mara nodded, but her face was serious. "It's a small step, but it's proof that we can influence them." As days passed, Mara's team refined their methods. They designed programs that could infiltrate alien communication systems, slowly feeding false data to the fleet. Drones began to miscalculate positions, shields flickered at the wrong time, and the alien ship's precise movements showed minor disruptions. At the same time, the aliens intensified their inspections. Flying silently above cities, their drones recorded human activity. People panicked at first, thinking they were being punished, but Mara's team had prepared. They used the disruptions in the alien network to shield human movements, redirecting drones away from sensitive locations and creating small safe zones. One evening, as the sun set over Cape Town, Mara's team initiated a controlled test. They targeted a single alien ship, a massive vessel hovering over the ocean. Using synchronized pulses, they caused a brief flicker in its shields. The ship remained intact, but the flicker was recorded. "That's it," Mara whispered. "We are no longer invisible. We can touch them. We can influence them. And soon, we can challenge them." Word of human ingenuity spread quietly among resistance networks worldwide. Engineers in Brazil, pilots in Canada, and scientists in Russia coordinated small operations. They exchanged information, developed new strategies, and refined their technology. It was not an army. It was something far more dangerous. A human mind working collectively, creatively and unpredictably. The aliens noticed the disruptions. Their commander, a tall figure who projected messages through the fleet, spoke to humanity for the first time since their arrival. "People of Earth," the voice boomed, calm and precise. "We have detected interference in our systems. You are endangering yourselves. Compliance will ensure your survival. Resistance is unwise." Humans listened, but now they were no longer afraid. The words only strengthened their resolve. "Unwise," Mara said, reading the broadcast. "They haven't learned yet. Humans don't do what is unwise. We do what is necessary." The next challenge came when the aliens attempted a direct intervention. They sent a wave of drones to seize control of several major energy grids in North America and Europe. These drones were designed to overpower human defenses, moving with precision and intelligence. But Mara's team had predicted this. Using their interference techniques, they disrupted the drones' communication, causing confusion. The drones collided, shut down, and retreated. "Did you see that?" Javier exclaimed. "We made them back off." Mara nodded, but she knew this was only the beginning. The aliens were learning too. Every action humans took would be studied, analyzed, and countered. The battle would not be physical yet. It would be mental, technological, and strategic. Despite the danger, humans continued to adapt. Ordinary citizens began noticing small signs of human resistance. Pilots reported seeing drones malfunction during surveillance runs. Scientists observed temporary instability in the alien shields. People realized that humans were not powerless, and that courage, intelligence, and creativity could challenge even the most advanced alien technology. In one daring operation, Mara and her team infiltrated an abandoned satellite station in the Arctic. They installed devices capable of sending stronger interference pulses, aimed at a cluster of alien ships near the North Pole. The operation was tense, with alarms blaring and temperatures dropping to extreme lows. But the team worked flawlessly, synchronizing signals with their global network. The result was immediate. Alien ships hesitated, their shields flickering in unison. Drones scattered, and for a brief moment, Earth's atmosphere was free of surveillance. Human ingenuity had struck a real blow, not destructive, but symbolic. "Every time we disrupt them, we prove a point," Mara said. "We are not helpless, we are not pawns, and they will not forget it." The alien commander, now visibly frustrated, addressed humanity again. "Your interference is noted. Continued actions will be met with decisive consequences. Understand that we are not your enemies, yet resistance will force a reckoning." Humans listened, but their fear had changed into determination. They had seen the cracks in the alien armor, the weaknesses that no advanced intelligence could fully predict. Humans were unpredictable, adaptive, and relentless. In Tokyo, a young student watched the broadcasts of Mara's team's operations. "They think humans are fragile," she whispered. "But they don't understand. Humans survive, humans endure, and humans fight back in ways no one can predict." As the days passed, humans continued to improve their methods. They created fake signals to distract alien drones, designed decoy energy pulses to mislead the fleet, and developed rapid response teams to exploit any moment of weakness. Small groups of engineers, pilots, and scientists acted like pieces on a chessboard, always moving, always adapting. Mara's team realized the key to victory was coordination. Not brute force, not weapons, but strategy, timing, and creativity. Every human mind involved in resistance added to their strength. Humanity was no longer a single, fragile species. They were a network of clever, resourceful, and courageous individuals. By the end of Part 2, the stage was set. Humans had demonstrated that the alien fleet, despite its size, power, and technology, was not invincible. They had learned to influence, disrupt, and outthink the invaders. Fear had not conquered humanity. It had sharpened them. And somewhere, high above the earth, the alien commander observed these actions, finally realizing a truth that humans had always known. Intelligence, creativity, and courage could not be measured by size or strength alone. Humans were dangerous, and they were just beginning to show it. Mara Lynn, standing in her hidden lab, smiled faintly at the screens filled with activity across the globe. "They think they understand us," she said softly, her voice steady with resolve. "But they have no idea. This is just the beginning. And when we strike next, they will see who they are really dealing with." The alien fleet remained above Earth, vast and silent, like a shadow that stretched across every continent. Cities gleamed under their observation, rivers flowed smoothly, and storms never formed without their permission. But for the first time in history, humans were no longer powerless. Mara Lynn stood in her hidden lab beneath the Swiss Alps, surrounded by her team. Screens displayed energy readings from the alien ships, satellite footage, and real-time signals from their worldwide network. The lab hummed with quiet energy, a sharp contrast to the calm that had overtaken most of Earth. "We know their rhythm," Mara said. "We know their weaknesses. And now, we strike." Her team had spent weeks analyzing the alien network, finding the patterns in their energy pulses, the vulnerabilities in their shields, and the tiny delays in their communication. Each human on Earth who contributed, engineers, programmers, pilots, and even ordinary citizens, was part of the operation. They were connected by signals, timing, and ingenuity. Humanity itself had become a weapon. The first move. The attack began in space. Small teams of human pilots using modified spacecraft and drones launched coordinated strikes at isolated alien ships. These were not weapons of destruction. They were precision disruptions designed to confuse and disable the ships temporarily. In orbit above Canada, a squad of young pilots led by Captain Alex Chen sent their drones into a formation of alien scouts. With signals synchronized to Mara's calculations, the alien drones froze mid-air, then collided harmlessly. For the first time, humans had disrupted an alien operation directly. On Earth, scientists activated interference generators, carefully timed to create small but critical interruptions in the alien network. Shields flickered, energy beams misaligned, and the fleet's precise coordination faltered. It was enough for human teams to gain a foothold. Mara watched the screens with her heart racing. "Good," she whispered. "Keep it steady. Every move matters." The battle intensifies. The alien commander responded swiftly. Ships moved in tighter formations, drones swarmed urban areas, and warnings were broadcast across every channel. "People of Earth," the voice said, calm yet firm, "your interference will not be tolerated. Cease your actions immediately or face consequences beyond your understanding." Mara's lips curved into a small smile. "They still think fear will stop us," she said. "But humans don't stop." Human ingenuity was now on full display. Engineers in South Africa created decoy energy signals that mimicked entire cities, drawing alien drones away from populated areas. Pilots in Europe performed daring maneuvers in space, exploiting the small delays in the alien ship's network. Scientists in Asia recalibrated interference generators to target shield generators precisely. Even ordinary people contributed. Farmers in South America rerouted small energy systems to generate harmless but confusing pulses. Technicians in the Middle East modified drones to act as lures. Humanity had become a coordinated, adaptive force, turning the tide. The first major breakthrough came over the Pacific Ocean. Mara's team had planted a virus in the alien network weeks before, carefully hidden and designed to activate at the perfect moment. As the alien fleet attempted to realign their formation after human disruptions, the virus triggered. Alien ships shuddered. Energy shields flickered across the fleet simultaneously. Drones malfunctioned, colliding mid-air or drifting aimlessly. The fleet's synchronization was gone. Mara's team cheered quietly in the lab. "This is it," Mara said. "We have their attention. Now we push forward." The global network of human operatives struck in unison. In New York, London, Tokyo, and Sydney, interference pulses targeted the alien command systems. Pilots in orbit used the confusion to disable weapons arrays. Drones acted as distractions while teams on Earth executed precise operations to overload alien sensors. The aliens had never faced a species that could act so unpredictably and creatively. They were powerful, yes, but humans were clever, adaptive, and relentless. The final confrontation. The alien commander, frustrated and finally realizing the extent of human capability, sent a message directly to Mara Lin. The voice filled the lab, echoing around the walls. "You are dangerous. You are not what we expected. Surrender, and your species may be spared." Mara's eyes were steady. She responded through the same channel, her voice calm and confident. "Do you even realize who you're threatening?" she asked. "You came here thinking we were fragile. You assumed control would be simple. But you underestimated humans. We are clever, we endure, and we fight when necessary." There was a pause. Then the alien voice spoke again, softer this time, almost as if acknowledging a new truth. "Humans, you are unpredictable." Mara smiled faintly. "Exactly. And that is why you cannot win." The alien fleet, massive and imposing, was now in disarray. Ships drifted without coordination. Shields flickered. Drones were scattered or disabled. Humanity was not just resisting, they were dominating in strategy, intelligence, and adaptation. Earth strikes back. Humanity's coordinated counterattack intensified. Modified drones created confusion, harmless but effective, among alien sensors. Pilots performed daring maneuvers that exploited timing gaps in the fleet's network. Teams on Earth overloaded localized alien shields with interference pulses, forcing ships to retreat temporarily. In space over Europe, Captain Alex Chen led a squadron of human pilots into the heart of the fleet. Using precision techniques developed by Mara's team, they disrupted energy fields around a central alien ship. The ship staggered, as if struggling to maintain control. On the ground, scientists synchronized interference generators across multiple continents. Lights flickered in alien control hubs. Sensors misread human movements. And every moment of confusion allowed humans to regain territory, freedom, and control. It was not brute force. It was human intelligence, ingenuity, and coordination. The aliens had underestimated it, and it was now their greatest weakness. Victory and recognition. After hours of coordinated action, the alien fleet began to withdraw. Ships lifted silently into space, shields flickering, sensors disabled. And drones scattered. The alien commander spoke one final time through every channel. "Humans, you have shown strength, intelligence, and creativity we did not anticipate. You are formidable. We will not continue this engagement. You are free. For now." The message ended. Silence fell. For the first time in weeks, Earth was free of alien interference. Humanity had survived. Humanity had adapted. and humanity had triumphed. Mara Lynn stood in the lab, looking at screens filled with live feeds of cities, skies, and human teams celebrating quietly. Her team cheered, but she remained thoughtful. "They thought they could protect us, control us," she said. "But humans are not meant to be controlled. We endure, we adapt, and we fight. That is what makes us strong." Across the globe, ordinary humans celebrated in small ways. Farmers returned to their fields, engineers repaired damaged drones, and children played under the open sky. Humanity had shown that intelligence, courage, and creativity could overcome even the most powerful force in the galaxy. A new understanding. The alien fleet, once a symbol of fear and dominance, was now a lesson in humility. Humans had proven that strength was not measured by size or technology alone. It was measured by resilience, ingenuity, and the will to survive. Mara Lynn addressed her team one final time, her eyes shining with pride. "We did not win because we were stronger. We won because we were human. Every mind, every hand, every idea contributed. This is what makes us dangerous. This is what makes us worthy of the universe." Her words echoed across the lab, a message not just to her team, but to all humanity. They were clever, brave, and unstoppable when united. And somewhere in the cosmos, the alien commander recorded a final observation. Humans were not simple, fragile creatures to be protected. They were cunning, adaptive, and far more dangerous than any force in the galaxy had predicted. For Earth, life returned to a semblance of normal, but humanity had changed. They were no longer simply survivors. They were warriors, thinkers, and strategists, and they knew in their hearts that if the universe ever threatened them again, humans would be ready. Mara Lynn looked out at the sky, the stars bright and endless. She smiled faintly. "They came to protect us," she whispered, "but they never realized. Humans do not need protection. We are the threat, and always will be."